Welcome to this release and engage class. We're going to focus on our neck right up first. So taking an upright seated position, just start settling into your spine, moving your neck right and left, and get a sense of the range of motion. Take your right ear to the right shoulder, left ear to the left shoulder for the lateral flexion, and then take your chin to your chest and a light extension, just to check on your range and your sense of freedom in your neck and shoulder. Rolling your shoulders back, getting an idea of how things feel, and then going right into trapezius stretch. Take your right arm up, right ear, right shoulder, and take a side bend. Now, instead of pulling on your head, what I want you to do once you get into the structures, extend your arm, turn the arms outward, and then resist. So slightly push with your head against your hand and breathe. That's a trapezius. Now, second one, look forward and down to your right knee. And push slightly at the back of your head. And again, resist. You push your head lightly and you push against with your head. So there's a resistance stretch. Okay, come back, pause, and double check on your range of motion. Turning your head, lateral, flexing your head, and then switching sides. Trapezius stretch. So if you used to get this done pulling on the head, which is not so effective as placing your hand and then lightly resisting that hand. Take your arm out, breathe all the way into the top lung, releasing, engaging the breath underneath the trapezius descendens, and then transition into your levator scapulae by looking down to your left knee now and resisting slightly at the back of your head. Notice the difference of resisting versus pulling on the head, and then check your resistance once more. Your range of motion. Wonderful. Let's check on our masseter muscle. So the muscle between the upper and the lower jaw. The trapezius, just connecting to that part of your body. Now we'll work with some neuromobility. So you're going in with your hand in the last loop, place the hand behind you. Make sure you sit nice and tight and yet, not too close to be able to extend but not hyperextend the arm. Good. Placing the arm behind you. You need a wall here, okay? Take the opposite behind you. Hand, looking back. Inhale, breath. Now, as you look forward, extend the arm and then release the front arm. So every time you add the stretch from your pecs, turning your head forward, you extend your arm forward. This is a tricky one to get, so don't worry about getting into it. Take your time and try to avoid too strong of a shift in the body. Sometimes the body escapes the tightness in the front of the shoulder. Double check your range of motion. You can also just do the one that feels tightest to you and switch sides. Right arm back at the level of your shoulder. Good. And then look forward, extend the arm. Good. This is total neural mobility. That means we are gliding the peripheral nerve that it often is obstructed when we are tied in the shoulders. So it's always a combination of muscle, fascia, and neuromobility that gets us stuck. And then if you have a spot here on your second side after your 5 reps, you can also pause, hold it, stay static in the arms, but then move your head left and right, just to, get to that, connect to that obstruction. And most importantly, breathe as you recreate freedom in the body. Targeting here the pec minor. And then slowly coming out. We're gonna go back to what's already familiar to us, a signature move, just to also combine the stretch with some neuromobility. Good. So hands outer shoulder width apart in the strap. Take your arms up and then exhale, pull the strap and move your head. Good. So as you take it up and down here, you want to be moving your head. So this neuromobility, it's like the signature move, but the strap is a little wider, right? Inhale, arms up, and then exhale, you pull it down wherever it's tight, add the resistance, and then turn your head wherever you meet your obstruction, connecting to what doesn't feel so great in the body, kind of connecting to the true emotion and then releasing that. Now from here, we take your static signature move stretch and just move the head right to left. See where you meet your body. Moving a little slower or faster according to how things are apt for you. And then release. Well done. Alright, let's get moving on all four. Just getting a sense of our spine, connecting to our body as you collect, breath and foundation, rooting into the hands. And then coming down, you're gonna bring the arms into cactus position. And now here, resist by pushing the arms back. Take your right leg back and open it up. Just a dynamic opening again. One more time for the trapezius area, but really the entire front of the shoulders. I'll clip the image in one more time. Such important structure, keeping that front open for your breath. So as you continue moving, taking your right leg behind you, resisting with your bottom arm, pushing your bottom forearm into the earth. Start to really take the breath into the front shoulders, the front body, and expand that sensation of widening in the chest, and enhance fingertips, baby cobra. So here, feel free to move your head, look to the right, extend your legs evenly, and look to your left. Lowering down, we're going to meet in downward facing dog, and keeping it light right now. Feel free to use your knees, transitioning, feeling connection and lightness as you step right heel, left heel out. Moving your jaw from time to time, just to make sure that jaw muscle is not overworking its job at this point. Stepping your right leg forward, back knee down. Inhale, reach your left arm up and take a side stretch. Collect your front body as always, pulling your front leg back. And then breathe into the side waist. Like you want to air that left wing of your body, left wing of the house. Take cactus arm, open the chest, extend the arms, and transition. Very simple leg switch. Keeping our flows here. Simple and light to follow. Right arm up, Low lunge, lengthen the side waist and then stretch into the side body. Good. Cactus arms, opening the front without collapsing in the back. That's the arch here. And then extend the arms. Good. Find the floor and step forward. Good. We're going to meet in Uttanasana and just sense for a moment. Where's the jaw? You can touch it again and move the jaw lightly. Where's your feet? And is there one side in your body, right or left, that feels constricted? Connecting to the back of the skull here. This is going to be a crucial spot today. It always is, but we're going to focus on it, the base of the skull. And whichever side you feel like, there's a bit more constriction happening, pick that side first for the fascia release. So you're going to need your balls. You can also work with a tennis ball if you don't have the double balls. Place it, have your block as support. And we're going in this sort of Ardha Uttanasana position. Just roll the sole of the foot here from back to front, nice and slow. And you want to have your foot really extending, opening over the ball. Sometimes you'll notice your feet kind of wanting to flex. Yeah, so try to really allow them to just spread out. And then of course, if you find a spot between the heels and the base of the foot, pause and release. Release meaning that spot of discomfort meets your breath till the spot becomes more comfortable. Transforming discomfort into comfort. Slightly exaggerated, but you know, that direction. And in Uttanasana, compare, feel, right or left side, base of the skull. Use your hands to touch and feel jaw muscle here. And yes, we're working on the feet, but we know from all the fascia lines that the foot is connected to the base of the skull. So for now, we just want to observe, what difference does it make if I address the sole of the feet? And then very important area of fascial connection. They carry the entire body. It's important kind of hydraulic area of the body. And you move on to your left foot. Plantar fascia on your left. Rolling your ball alongside the heel and the base of the foot. If you have a spot, you pause and breathe. Of course, you can always use your hands for manual support. Relaxing the toes, spreading them out. Just getting a good sense of anchoring. Anchoring into the earth, anchoring into your body, into your emotion, into that which is truly going on. So we can really shift our state from a place of should to is. No judgment. Checking on the base of the skull, come back to parallel position if you haven't already. And just compare right and left. How's your Uttanasana feel? How's your jaw muscle responding to it? Alright, Utkatasana, here we come. Squat position. Take your arms up. Check on your pelvic position and then interlace or just open your shoulders here, getting a sense of a lightness in the upper body as you hold your squat. Light squat for now. Anchoring into your feet. Exhale, fold forward. We're going to 3. And then back to Utkatasana, arms up. And I only want you to hold your hands up when that is possible with lightness in the shoulder. Otherwise, option 2, cactus arms. Or you interlace your hands, exhale, fold forward. In the next one, behind your back, Utkatasana, come back, keep it light, keep it flowing. And then as you interlace your head at the base of the skull, push your head back. Or of course, you can always keep your hands simply at your pelvis. Breathe as you feel into the legs. As you push your head back, exhale, Uttanasana. On the next one, Utkatasana, we are going to transition the weight. So again, take the arm position that works for you, shift to your left side, hug into your mid body, and then step your right foot back for a light, high lunge. As light, as long as you can easily square the shoulder. Interlace your hands, shoulders back. Inhale, hold the legs together, and then sink a little deeper. Exhale. Now bend both knees, curl in, and exhale. Extend your back leg here. Extend your arms, bend your back knee one more time, curl in, and then from that connection, extend the back leg, extend the arms. Repeat. Now here's the thing with the interlace. We'll inspect it in a moment, but move up to 5 reps here. Bending both knees, curling in, and then extending the back leg, extending the back arms. Step forward and come back to center. Utkatasana. Take your arm position that works, and then transition onto your right side. Stepping your left foot back into a high lunge. Nice and in control. Interlace your hands the opposite way. Neutral wrist, bend your back knee, extend arms and back leg. So it's light, bend, curl in, extend, back leg, shoulders, and elbows. Now, as we're interlacing, there's oftentimes some issues there, especially when the shoulders are tight. We'll inspect that in a moment. And then after your 5, step into Tadasana. Now, take your strap here to inspect that interlace. Typically, we interlace and then the arms are internally rotated and oftentimes the wrist kind of bent. They're not so effective for the shoulders. Yes, so what you want to be able to do when you interlace your hands to be able to neutralize the wrist. So we're going to get into this with the straps, and this makes so much more sense for especially tight shoulders because, watch, you hold it behind your back and then turn your arms out. Now we're actually in an external rotation of the arms, which is the opening position. Now keeping the arms out, the wrists neutral, so not extended, straight line, underarm and wrists. You're going to inhale, lengthen the sides of your waist, and then exhale, just pull the strap apart. Very important. The eyes of the elbows face outward. And then repeat. So we're centralizing that external rotation. And then when we go into the fold, we lean to the side here. Watch your elbows. They love to hyperextend, avoiding the actual shoulder stretch. You can let go of your head for additional side neck structure here. And then switch to the opposite side, bending the left knee as you lean to the side, neutralizing the wrist. So there is biceps activity. Feels like you're curling, biceps curling. And leaning to the side, just to make sure we get really good into side body. And so the forward fold makes a bit more sense with the shoulder stretch too. Otherwise, if you straight line and just, take the arms overhead, often the shoulders actually roll in. Well done. All right, let's get on to plank and all the way into our belly with position 2. From position 2, we're going to work our back body. Come onto spider fingers and then take your right leg behind you one more time into twist. Remember to resist the bottom forearm into the earth. Take the bottom shoulder back. And let's just get that spine engaged here for a moment. Working only with a handful of reps to get ready to extend that spine. Now starting in variation 1, slide your hands along the floor. Engage your pubic bone into the earth and exhale, pull back as you lift your left leg. Inhale, engage pubic bone into the earth. Exhale, pull back as you lift your right leg and continue. You want to feel length in the neck and engagements through the shoulder blade. So every time you exhale and elongate your breath, there's really a lift, an even lift without a shift. And this particular work in your extensors. Now option 2 here, we're going to keep the arm beside ourselves in cactus arms. And every time inhale bottom, we exhale, lift the lower belly and lift the leg and the arms. We work with asymmetric leg lifts. This will just increase the amount of stability work the spine has to do. This is option 2 or a modification 2. Use the strap to resist your way up. And we're going to change in quarter dog or through quarter dog the way we hold the strap so we can work with variation 3. So it's a build-up of engagements of your extender line. Taking the hands in outer shoulder width apart in what we know as position 1. We're going to do this signature move on our bellies, engaging the back leg. Again with the asymmetric leg lift. So lower down, arms above the head, lengthen the spine and engage the lower belly. Exhale, arms behind the head, lift your one leg. Inhale, breath as you lengthen, and then exhale, engage and lift. Let's try to find an even rhythm here as you continue. Now, this is variation 3. The most demanding way of working the extensor with the arms over the head. And then after 5, you pause. Breathe. Feel the back body here. And then just for the fun of it, we do some pumps symmetric. So exhale, lift, arms and legs, lift, pump. Exhale, pump. Even, without acceleration, pump. And one more to go. And that's the last one. And release. Well done. All right, let's take a side body stretch from all 4. Right foot to the right and take your top arm over. And just find that lateral line by being mindful about your front and back body. Switch sides. So no back bend, no forward fold, really just centering the body here. Switch to the right, stretch your top arm over, thumbs facing back, and now add bending the top arm, bringing some more love into the upper back body. And mindfully, with grace, switch sides. So we go into the side stretch, bend the top elbow and squeeze the upper shoulders. Squeeze the upper back. You can always face down or take a nice throat, neck extension into it. Last one on your right. I believe it's second last, but whatever. You want to do 6 if you're working asymmetric, so both sides get the same amount of love. On your left, stretch the top arm, thumb facing back, and then squeeze the upper back. Very important to glue your bottom upper arm bone back. Lengthen through the tail. Well done. And then find your way through down dog, walking into Uttanasana. Take a moment to ground into your feet, and let's check on the base of the skull, the suboccipitals. Just giving it some love with your fingers, getting a sense of traction. It's also the area we want to keep long when we move through asana. Check on your jaw, the area between the upper and the lower bite. And then let's find your way back to standing. Starting at the front of the mat, lift your left leg and then step back into a warrior two position. Moving the strap back into position 2, take an inhale breath and bring your arms close to you as you straighten the leg. And then exhale, extend through both legs evenly as you also extend through the arms. And it's okay here if the strap moves in behind your elbows. You really want to have the strap here. Inhale back to center to assert your center and to assert that weight distribution through the back leg as much as the front leg. Yeah. And then hold your last one here. Breathe, shoulders back, tail long, and switch sides. So just a nice, easy tuning into warrior two in position 2. All right. Find a position. Inhale, center hug to the midline. Exhale, extend through the back as much as through the front. Center extend, pumping the arms a little more or less. Inhale, center. Exhale. So you want to distribute evenly out from the middle and start bending your left knee now a little deeper as you continue to go. Place your left hand and extend into trikonasana. And of course, if you need to block, have it close. Otherwise, you always want to keep your spine long, and if you can maintain the spine long, then you can just extend your leg. Good. Pause and breathe as you lengthen through your low back, extending through that back leg, keeping a massive amount of range of motion through your arms before you reach your arm overhead. Beautiful. Stepping back into downward facing dog. Breathe. Hold the strap with your elbows on this one. And then switch sides. So we're back on the right leg. Gotta find our warrior trikonasana position here too. So from the bent knee position, extend, lengthen, hold it with your elbow, loop it in, and then extend through the top arm as you lengthen through the low back. Tons of weight in the back leg and through the anchoring of your tailbone. As you breathe and feel your kidneys. This time we transition through the middle, back to the left foot, just to keep it playful and going. If you choose differently, that's fine too, as long as both legs get their, attention. Meeting in Tadasana. Pause and breathe. Center body, breath and mind. with your feet grounded and your jaw loose. And repeating the previous flow with a bit of variation, step your right foot back into Warrior Two, landing nice and easeful. Inhale, center, exhale, Warrior Two. Start to really move that front knee towards the pinky, so it's externally rotate, extend the front leg, trikonasana, and then bend your front knee back to Warrior Two. Inhale, center. And that's the flow. Extend out, lean forward as you spread through the back leg. Trikonasana, extending the arms, and then bend your front knee. Now, let's make a point of really feel the head in line with our spine. Slight tuck of the chin, neck long, and then keep that as you extend your arm for Trikonasana. If it's too much of effort or you start tensing up, just gaze down. Switching sides through center, move to your right. Warrior Two on your right. Keep that front knee anchored above the ankle. Center, extend both legs. Exhale, Warrior Two into Trikonasana. Long back of the neck, chin in or gaze down. And we'll repeat one more time. Just let it nicely flow. Once we find that alignment through the first flow, extending out, shoulders back, in Trikonasana, finding that freedom through the side body. Good job. Center. And let's find our way back to our knees. Keeping position 2 for now, we're gonna do some hip mobility. So sitting over the side from this knee position, you're going to undo your feet and then move your seat to the left. Reach your top arm and then switch sides. Yeah, knees bend to the opposite side and then lift your seat. Now, every time you transition, your knees simply in the 90-degree bends move and you lift the seat into the side stretch. And of course, you can start doing this without using your arms, except the lift. Your bottom arm is active here. And just keeping it light and mobilizing. You don't necessarily need to strap here, but it's kind of a nice way to feel that reach. And then next time you're on your right, stay, take a 90-90 position, and then lean forward. From this position, you want to really anchor your hip down and just find the position, the vector of stretch. So it might be a little bit to the right or to the left. Just find where do you find the front seat stretch and then stay and breathe. Getting ready to transition to your left. Find the 90-90, lengthen your spine and then lean forward. As you continue to breathe through your front seat. You can also make this more restorative by placing a block underneath your head so the weight can be given to the earth. Take deep breaths through the seat like it's your nostril, really. And from this grounding, very accessible hip stretch of externally rotating the hip, we are going to take the side stretch one more time. So you can basically ignore the strap here or use it, or try both, like what is more speaking to you. You want to find your truth always when practicing. Okay, moving into this nice side stretch that can transition into a bit of a light back bend. Find your way onto your belly. And let's do some jaw release. Yes. Place your double balls or your tennis ball on the block. Take the length in your neck position and then take your head to the side. So place the ball exactly between the upper and the lower jaw. And if you find it for any reason too hard, you could just place your hand around the ball and soften that. And then as you're on your side, what you're doing is basically slightly opening and closing your mouth. We're going to descend, cool down, restore the structure we focused on today through pressure, through pain relief, adding awareness and oxygen and restoration into those tissues. And really take the time you need. So you may not feel much around that Masetter structure. Gonna add a photo here one more time so you can get a nice idea of the structure you're actually working with. And then second, we're going into the pecs, Pectoralis Minor, the small one. So you basically place the top ball from the top in between the upper arm and the chest and lean to the side into the motion we've done many times today, except that we support the head with the block. Once you're settled, you just release and breathe into the pain to the point of release. And pain may be not the most ideal word to use, but discomfort, obstruction. Once you get there, let that dissolve into more freedom, more breath, and release. Well done. So whatever time it takes, perhaps more on your right than your left, you bring the pressure onto the pec structure. Pause and breathe. Guide your breath into the expansion, into the intercostal space. And when you feel ready, you transition to your left side. Masetter first. Here it comes. Use your hands to soften. Or you could always place a towel on top as well. Move a bit between the upper and the lower jaw, more in the back of the jaw, and then move slightly. And you will know when there's something there. You will know. The trigger point effect is to be triggered, right? So if your eyebrows raise to your hairline, meet it, greet it, and then, soften your face and deepen your breath as you work with that. It can be very deep work, it can be triggering. Sometimes it just makes us aware of the stress we have been carrying. And then second one, placing the balls directly on the pectoral minor structure, left hand behind, and then find your way into that beautiful deep structure that it's hardly accessible by stretch only. Breathing, restoring, and meeting yourself here. Really delivering a release to the back muscles. This is perhaps the biggest surprise for us, that when we release the front, we also release the back. And by engaging the back, we actually release the front. So there's a delicate interplay of this muscular balance system. Coming back to center. Take a baby cobra just to balance right and left. Get aligned with the new body you just created. And then we're going to find our way back into a seated position. I'm going to place my back towards you so it's more easily viewable. First, rotating the head from right to left. The initial move of the practice, the side stretch, lateral flexion. Just checking in on the structure around your neck. Perhaps adding some circumduction, chin, circling alongside your collarbones. Moving into all of the back structures. And most importantly, find the base of your skull. Find the suboccipitals here, where your high airline starts, typically, but where it's already hard. And we're going to work into the back structure, supine. Have a wall close and take your double balls or your 2 tennis balls in a sock. Works also not the same, but works. Okay, placing the balls at the mid-upper back, support your head. And then for now, just mildly, with the weight of the balls by supporting the head, roll up and down. And once you find your spot, you release your head. That is milder than placing the head on the ground. From here, you can cross your arms and just work deeply into that paravertebral thoracic structure, into the rib space, the intercostal, but mostly the costal vertebral space, joints that can, they can easily get blocked, so we deblock them if they're blocked. And then once you're settled, reach your arm overhead. And with the block now at the base of the skull, this is option 1, you can move your head from right to left to roll the edges of the block alongside the suboccipitals. You are not on your cervical spine, you're already on the hard part of the skull. This can be done on the yoga blocks quite friendly, depending on the blocks, really. Soft, hard blocks. If they're not friendly, make them friendlier. Placing something on top. And then explore your rotation here alongside the ridge of your skull. The same can be done with the double balls. Now this is a bit more tricky, so that's why we started with the block. Placing the block underneath the seat first, we're going to take the balls up. Let's re-release those upper back structures, but this time with a different weight distribution of the seat on the block. You can take eagle arms or cross your arms and then work your way through the upper back with the balls underneath. So they're now between the area of the shoulder blades, between the shoulder blades. By leaning into the one side, you get more pressure there or the other way around. Connect to the breath and observe when it gets disrupted. You can always close your eyes here to really make this the introspective experience. And then last but not least, we take on that suboccipital area. So check with your finger one more time. The skull area, there where it's hard, not your cervical spine. Step 1, you use the block. Now you can even tilt your block here, or make sure, for sure, that the edges of the block meet the ridge. So you need quite a double chin position with your head to kind of access the ridge. Option 2 is to be doing the same with the double balls. This takes a bit more precision, and you want at all times hold the balls. You don't want them to roll away. Okay, so lengthen the neck, get a sense of traction, double tuck your chin, or just tuck it, and then holding the balls, move from right to left. If the balls are too hard, if you notice your body tensing up, you must fold the blanket to cover them, or fold the yoga mat. That's my preferred way, because then they're nice and steady and they don't roll away, and you can actually move your arms now to the side and there's no need to hold the balls. So with the double balls in at this crucial key spot of the body, the base of the skull, you work your way with a slight rotation. The nose is moving about 30 degrees to the right and left. And if you find a spot, you just stay and breathe. Moving slow and noticing bodily sensations. You can check on your jaw one more time. Your upper spine and the jaw are massively related, close relative, so to say, affecting one another. And then remove the balls so we can move into the hips, crossing right leg over left for eagle legs. Shift your weight left and right so you can hold both feet. Gauge the foot a little so there's no extreme supination. Just rocking the spine, finding the neutral curve. Or if for any reason this is not working for your knees, you could already move into thread of the needle. And make sure you have a wall close here. It's a very nice variation to place one foot on the wall and bend the top knee on top. So if you can't bend your knee for any reason fully, it's a good variation to do. And you will feel the evenness of your pelvis as a feedback from the wall. Or you go into full version, holding the shin, leaning back, finding the natural curve of your low back. And you breathe, taking your shoulders back. Anchoring your mind into the depth of your body. And then switch sides. Placing the foot on the wall, holding the back of the knee or holding the entire right shin with the left foot engaged and on top of the thigh. Aim to find a natural curve in the low back, a natural lordotic curve, and the evenness of your pelvis. As you level your body and the evenness of your breath. Placing both feet at the wall, we're going to do some dynamic shoulder stands. So lift your seat and exhale lower. Root your shoulders, anchor your upper back into the ground as you lengthen through your lower back, pushing your feet into the wall. And an exhale, lower down. Just continue to do this motion a couple times. Find the length and make sure it remains a shoulder stand and doesn't become a neck stance. We use no support at this point, so you only go as high up as you can maintain that shoulder and neck alignment, not flattening the spine. And then lifting up, take your block nearby so that you can place it underneath the back of the pelvis. Progressing into supported shoulder stand with your sacrum laying flat and stable. Hold the block and then extend your right and your left leg into the air. So there's a 90-degree fold in your hip. Your spine is straight and long. You take your shoulders back and breathe. This is nice variation, an accessible variation if you don't have shoulder blankets and props to make it available for a general class as well. You breathe and let that pelvis settle back towards the natural curve of the low back. And allow those legs to get empty as your breath and heart gets fuller. A few more moments and breaths as you settle the weight of the upper body. And then to come out, simply place your feet on the wall. Lengthen your low back, lift off the prop, and then slowly come back to the ground. So your option today is either regular Shavasana, or you're going to do a Viparita Karani, but with your legs bind together so they don't fall apart, using the strap as an assist, possibly even the pelvis a little higher, right, with the seat on the wall. Looping the shin bones, just like you know it from the upper thighs. You're gonna make that knot on the side of the leg, so when your feet are hip width apart, they don't fall apart. Just becomes more restorative, less active with this Viparita Karani version, or feel free to also proceed into regular Shavasana. Completing this series, allow the shoulders in this newfound alignment to settle, shoulders to broaden, and then soften your eyes and face as you deepen the rest and restoration of your body. Thank you for participating and see you soon again. Namaste.